job growth was slower in 2017 than in every year since 2010. See, if President Obama had been white, he would have gotten credit for all this stuff.
Right.
15.8 million jobs created under President Obama. He's credit for none of it. This fool comes. Donald Trump, people have to understand, Donald Trump is the poster boy for affirmative action for white people. This is what he is. Totally unqualified.
Right.
But he gets credit for stuff he didn't even do.
That is a very valid point.
He's the poster boy for white affirmative action for white people, right? So then the people at the carrier plant in Indianapolis are pissed off at him because they're losing their jobs.
Right.
He totally abandoned them.
Right.
He used them as a stepping stone to say, look at what I'm doing. Then he used Governor Mike Pence, who was the governor of Indiana, to give tax breaks to carriers on the backs of taxpayers. And so now these people are losing their jobs, and Trump hasn't said anything about it.
Right. But he's not going to say anything about it.
No, he's a con man. He's a fraud.
Even about the in the stock market yesterday when it went down, he didn't say anything about that.
Oh, he didn't say anything about that. So and then he talks about the bonuses given to corporations, right? Okay, we need to really deal with this because see, this is one of the biggest cons I've seen in a long time. So first of all, it's going to the $1.5 trillion tax cut is going to give 83% of those benefits go to the top 1%. Right. Okay. Number one. And the tax cuts for the corporations, bringing the corporate tax rate down to 21%, is permanent. But the tax cuts for individuals, that's going to expire in about 10 years, right? So corporations are spending less than 1% of their tax cut on bonuses. Right. See, he's talking about bonuses. They're spending less than 1% on bonuses.
Because you only get a bonus one time.
but not only that, a lot of that money they're using to buy back stock. They're using to enhance the facilities, but they're going to spend a lot of that on automation, which eliminates more jobs. This is what they're doing in the carrier plant. They're spending $16 million on to upgrade, but they're putting in more automation, which is going to eliminate jobs. These people find this out, they went crazy. Right. This is what I'm saying. This is the biggest con man. Right. But what he did was he preyed on the fears of some white people, not all white people, because we know 47% of white women didn't vote for this con man. Right. 53% of white women did, and some of them regret it. Some of them work at the carrier plant. So what he did was he preyed on the fears of some white people who have a fear of the browning of America. Right? He never cared about poor. He never cared about poor white people. He never cared about the flag. When he had a chance to go fight in Vietnam, he got 5 deferments because he was too cowardly to go fight in Vietnam. He claimed he had bone spurs. Right. He got 5 deferments, and he said his Vietnam.
My taxes are still getting audited.
Oh, that's a total lie. That's a total lie. He won't even release the document that the Internal Revenue Service sends you, letting you know that you're going to be audited. He won't even release that notification letter. Right. He's a fraud. Yeah. Okay.
The sad part about it is even going back to the campaign trail where he made the statement about African Americans and what do you have to lose? And in that statement he basically was saying you guys have no jobs. Your schools are messed up. You're getting shot. You walk down the street and you get shot. What do you have to lose? But he didn't show any account between that point, the campaign trail, and now basically taking credit for the lowest, African-American unemployment. He didn't show anything in that nature of saying, hey, this is what we have done in order to be able to do that. And the sad part about it is, to your point, is that he did no credit to President Obama at all. And the only thing that he is looking to do is to erase everything. What are your comments in regards to Guantanamo Bay? Because he reversed that as well. And I just think that, his whole goal for running for president, one, out of just ego, two, is to erase everything that President Obama
first of all, he didn't expect to win. See, that's what people have to understand. I knew this before Michael Wolff's book came out, Fire and Fury. I heard this long before that. He did not expect to win. But he never wanted to govern, okay? But when he got in it, he stayed in it. He at some point he decides that he really wants to win, but he does not want to govern. And it was either the night of or the night before the election. He told Melania, based upon the reporting I've seen, that he was going to lose. When he won, he was shocked. She was crying. She wasn't crying because she was happy.
Right.
See, what was supposed to happen was Trump TV was supposed to launch from the machinery that he put together. They were talking about Trump TV. Right. Well, when he became president-elect, Trump TV goes out the door. Now he has to transition. He has to put together. Have the transition team and transition to be president. he was totally unprepared for that.
Right.
Okay, this is one of the reasons why you got a lot of unfilled jobs in his administration. He has 4,000 jobs.
Turnover rate.
Well, not just turnover rate. It's because they were never filled in the first place. Because when the Obama administration left, that left a lot of vacancies. Right. He has 4,000 positions he has to fill in his administration. A lot of those have gone unfilled. Okay, but when you look at last night, he talked about opioid addiction, okay, and the opioid crisis. Okay, well, number one, he hadn't allocated more money for the opioid. He announced that it was some type of a national crisis, but no additional funding has been allocated for it, number one. Number two, News1.com has a really good article that people should check out. And this one deals with how Trump, all of the subliminal digs Trump took at black and brown folks during the State of the Union last night. Okay, News1.com. And they talked about the opioid crisis, okay, because he dealt with something to the effect that it's the opioid crisis is basically related to drug deals. Right. He didn't talk about doctors writing prescriptions and getting people hooked on opioids. Right. This is how a lot of them get hooked on opioids. It's not because they're buying illegal drugs. They get on heroin when their prescriptions that they get from a white doctor runs out. There was an article that I saw earlier today. The Hill.com has it, and other outlets, NBC News may have it. They talk about this one small town that the population is 3,200. Something like 10 million opioid pills were sent to this city over the course of 10 years. It's either 10 or 20 million. When you look at states like West Virginia, Ohio, Maine, MSNBC did a series of stories dealing with the opioid crisis, right? This comes from Big Pharma. This comes from Big Pharma and greed. And now you have a rising rate of African Americans being hooked on opioids also. But one of the things he talked, because what I read is that the African Americans are getting hooked on fentanyl. Fentanyl, that's an opioid. Right. That's one of the most powerful ones. Right. Fentanyl, yeah, that's one of the most powerful ones. So last night he talked about we stand for the flag. So he's the that's why I got my Colin Kaepernick shirt on today. That's why I got my Colin Kaepernick shirt on today, because Colin Kaepernick said I'm not going to stand for a flag that oppresses black people and people of color. Okay? So what Trump will do to gin up, see, one of the things he wanted to do last night, he wasn't trying to bring the country together. No. He's trying to bring back some of those people who he's lost, who found out he's a fraud. Right. He's trying to bring them back, and he's using racism to bring them together. So he talks about standing for the flag and things like this, right? But he won't talk about why they are protesting, protesting against police brutality. Now, check this out. The Republican Party is supposed to be the party of law and order. He ran on the platform of law and order, which basically means protect white people and lock up black people. That's what law and order means. Right. But at the same time, he's trying to undermine his own FBI because they're investigating him and he knows they're going to nail them. You're supposed to be the party of law and order, and you are attacking the deputy FBI director, forcing him out. Okay? You're attacking the deputy director of the Rosenstein of the Department of Justice. Okay? You're supposed to be the party of law and order, and you are undermining your own Department of Justice. That makes no sense. He's a total hypocrite and a fraud. All right, let me get to some phones before I go to a break. Line one, Angie in Atlanta. How are you, Angie? Angie, on the air. Angie, I lost Angie. Line two, Walter Ypsilanti. How are you?
I'm running. Both of you clowns' worst nightmare has arisen to the occasion.
No, you're not our worst nightmare. You're your own worst nightmare. But go ahead. It's the return of Amos and Andy. See, this is a white man pretending to be black. See, that's what Amos and Andy was. Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll. These were two white men who adopted a Southern black dialect to lampoon and show African Americans to be idiots. Go ahead.
Okay, Michael.
Go ahead.
All right, Michael. Even though you got your historian license out of a Cracker Jack box.
No, sir. I bet you I didn't commit welfare fraud in the state of Indiana like you did. You admitted that. You admitted that on the air. Go to your point before I wear you out.
So you still quoting from Steve Brotherhood, huh? But anyway, let me say this.
You call me, I ain't call you. Go ahead with your point, man.
You are guilty of the sin of blackolatry.
What is that?
Blackolatry over facts. And Shame on you for this self-proclaimed historian on your show.
I don't claim to be a historian. I don't claim to be a historian. But I provided evidence. I provided sources. Where are your sources? I provided sources. I provided two. Go read them and then call me back. ThinkProgress.org.
Okay, so
once again,
what'd you call
he provides no evidence. He's a clown. He provides no evidence. See, this is a guy who gets paid to call in here and disrupt what we're doing.
You get paid.
He has to be getting paid because you can't be this stupid for free.
Yeah. Walter, you need to give me some of that check that you've been getting, you know, from everybody. Real quick, I gave
two sources. You didn't write them down. I don't even think this guy can read.
Hey, Spud.
Yeah.
You still there?
I'm here real quick.
You still haven't made a point.
Michael got his knowledge from a Dollar Tree.
Yeah, but you didn't come. So what's your point? You called me for what? You called me to, you know,
He's
for
a
nothing?
waste of time. He has none.
Okay.
See, I gave two sources. He hasn't read them. This guy can't even read. I gave two sources. He provided none. This is what this clown agenda is.
But here's the sad part about it, you know. And this is the reason why, and my friend, you know, Lamont always says that, you know, this is the reason why Donald Trump is winning. He says that loosely. But it's because of, you know, people like Walter and the base that Donald Trump was speaking to last night to be able to say, oh, you know what? This is what the president is doing. He is, you know, got the stock market going up. He is, you know, bringing down black unemployment. You know, he's doing all these things.
All that was going on in Obama.
But they don't read that. Even, you know, I don't know.
But they don't read.
You know, I don't know if you saw the New York Times article. The New York Times article where they were actually, you know, there was one where the New York Times had Trump supporters write in to talk about, you know, why they support him. They don't care nothing about his, you know.
They support him because of white supremacy and racism. See, the Atlantic.com had a big article May of 2017 that talked about how it was cultural anxiety. And this is why a lot of white people voted for Trump. Not all of them, but it was cultural anxiety. Another word for cultural anxiety is white supremacy, which goes back to the Browning of America. He ran his campaign slogan was "Make America Great Again," which was a take on Ronald Reagan's campaign slogan, which was "Let's make America great again." Right. So a lot of these people they fear about 2043 becoming a numerical minority because they know for decades they have mistreated numerical minorities and they fear becoming one. Not all white people, but the ones that voted for him. So what's taking place is a lot of them want to go back to Mayberry and Andy Griffith and Aunt B and Opie. They want to go back to Ward Cleaver and June Cleaver. They want to go back to Ozzie and Harriet. When you watch those shows, there's no black people in those shows. They want to go back to the time before the Civil Rights Movement, before Voting Rights Act, things like this. They want their country back, or what they think is their country, that they stole from indigenous African people and Native Americans. So this is what's taking place. I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about the ones that voted for Trump.
Right. All right, I got to go to a break. 313-778-7600. Michael Imhotep is here. We're going to dive into Black history. Facts, by the way. We're going to talk facts. We're not talking no Cracker Jack box.
I got a lot of information about what happened last night.
We're going to talk it all. We're going to talk about it all. Yeah. Michael Imhotep is here. 313-778-7600. We'll be right back right after this.